Hi there, everybody. Pops here. Welcome back to Small Farm. I'm just going to have a think about what it is we're going to do today. First of all, here he comes. He likes to be petted. And he likes his food. So let's go check out the rest of the animals. We have some eggs. So we've got a little bit of produce starting to appear. If we quickly run round, let's go and see how the sheep are doing. Again, we should have, yeah, we've got our very first bits of wool, so we are starting to gather together hopefully some things we can look to sell. Okay, so the first thing I want to do this episode is go into our construction menu and just get rid of this fence, which appears to be serving no purpose whatsoever other than getting in my way. And as we've already established, my piloting skills are not brilliant, so any obstacles in my way, it's just adding to my grief. But it is interesting that everything other than the shop and the sell point would appear to be sellable. Hello, boy. Oh, didn't like that. So yeah, you can sort of customize the whole area and get rid of things to your heart's content. So what are we going to do today? So one thing we did make a start on was having a look at some of these trees. Ultimately, we need to make these fields bigger by joining them together. A lot of them have got a lot of obstacles. So here, for example, this field, which sometime in the next month needs to be cultivated and planted. This field, which needs the straw collecting and then again cultivated and planted. That would be better as one field, but we have some very beautiful but very obstructive trees that unfortunately I am going to do away with. So this is the grass field, and again, it's not so bad here. We can't quite sort of get to the edge of the grass, so all these will need to go. We do not own this field, but we will do at some point. So that's cotton, and this field here we really need to be using for our grass and hay. And again, another field we might want, but to use them properly we're going to need to start clearing the trees out. So made a start. We're going to do that for a little while, and then we'll see what we're going to do next in terms of clearing up that straw, cultivating a couple of fields and maybe seeing if we can join them together and taking it from there. we're nearly there with getting rid of our tree. We do have the lumberjack mod installed as recommended by the creator of the map. Otherwise it would be virtually impossible to successfully get rid of all these trees, including you'd have to do some fairly major work to get rid of the stump, but for our purposes on this particular map, what we're looking at is just being able to clear the trees out, and voila, it is gone. So what I'm going to do is let's have a drive up to the fields we're going to be concerned with today and have a look at clearing out this area. You see, in reality we probably need to get rid of this tree. It's not in a great position for moving around. This one, this one, that one there, that one. I just want to say in my defence, it doesn't give me any pleasure at all getting rid of trees, but for the practicality of the game, it's going to have to be done. So let's set about it. So just quickly so you can see what we're going to do here. This is the grass field. We've taken down the trees at the edge of the grass field. We've taken down the tree at the main entrance. And the one immediately outside the entrance on the main road. And then the trees between these fields, because these are going to be joined together to create one field, hopefully at some point. So I've tried to keep anything that doesn't need to go, but I've been sort of fairly pragmatic about saying, look, it's all about getting the fields together, getting some money in. We'll save the trees by planting a forest somewhere else when we can. So I'm going to clear all these out now. It will take, I would imagine, a considerable amount of time. So I will start off. It will certainly take a lot of time if I can't work out what I'm doing. It's going to be a bit at a time. Chop them up. Dispose of the evidence. Pretend we're a lot more wildlife friendly than it turns out we are. And once I've finished chopping all these trees up, I will come back to you. So as it turned out, I was correct. It did take a considerable amount of time, but we now have the grass field, and then these three fields here. I've all had the trees removed from their edges. So ultimately we're going to join these up to make this, and this into one field. One thing we do need to do first though is we need to harvest this field. So we'll do that next. Then we'll collect the straw off this field and the field at the top there, and then we'll see where we go from there. Where am I going? Combine. Right, let's get the combine and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so it's a bit easier to get through here now. We've got the fence down, and it'll be a lot easier to get into the auto feeders bays. And hopefully now we can have a bit of an easier time getting out of here with the tree not being in the way. So it's a very small field, shouldn't take too long. Let's crank her up. And away we go. So much easier without the trees in the way. Okay, leave me to it. Last row. Are we going to get it all? Yeah. Right, we need to put this wheat into the grain silo. So let's just detach the header. So what I want to know now is can I unload this straight from the harvester into the silo, or do I need to put it into the trailer first? Do I need a lesson in how to drive? And there you go. Well, that's possibly a bit of an easier way of doing it. So, does our silo now tell us? Doesn't tell us anything. Does it tell us what we've got? Produce. 2724 litres of wheat, which we could sell at the farm shop, but that's going to be worth less than £3,000. Okay. Let's go and park the combine back up. And then we'll have a look at collecting up some straw. So although we haven't got any cows yet, we're sort of preparing to get some. So when we do the straw, I think we'll bring it back and drop it here. We're also going to need some hay and some silage, and then the robot feeder will take all the various bits, mix it in there, and then take it through. So first of all, straw. Let's see what we've got that we might be able to pick the straw up with. That'll do. I think maybe. No, we'll go with a big case. Okay, let's get this out of here and up to the top field where we can start picking up straw. So actually I've just realised we've got quite a bit of grass still in the back of this wagon. So what we're going to do is for the moment we are going to dump our grass here. And then at some point, in fact, if we get it close enough, we could probably dump it on the trigger point. What? Yeah, take a tiny bit of it. The rest of it, is it Control I? How do we dump? Yeah, Control I, but we can't do it on the trigger point, so we're just going to do it there. And then some later point we'll be able to shovel maybe with a bucket on the front of a tractor, we'll be able to just shovel that into there as and when it's needed. It's obviously full at the moment. Right, back to the straw. Okay, see if this works. Oh my word, certainly appears to be collecting it. Yep. Got a load here we could collect up as well. Right, I'll get this all done and I'll do the bottom field. Sorry neighbour. And then we'll decide what we're doing with our straw. Okay, so we have collected up all of our straw. We are going to place it in here. Like so. We can now go and park this wagon up and have a little think about what we're going to do next. What we need to do this month. Okay, so we now have this field here, which is our grass field, which we're going to leave as our grass field because we need hay. We have this field here, this field here, and this field here, all of which need cultivating. And I think the plan is now to see if we can work out how to join these together and have one wheat field. And then finally, we own this field here, which is ready to be planted. And the question is, do we plant this field, or for now, do we make this field into part of the farm and maybe look at putting some greenhouses on here somewhere, for maybe in the future we could have some production for the wool, especially a Spinney and a Tailor. So yeah, I think that's possibly going to be what happens next episode to this field. But for the moment, we'll go back to these three and we'll look to see if we can work out how to join these together into one big field. Okay, so we're going to call it a day there for this episode. Thank you very much for hanging on in there if you have, and if you haven't, you're obviously not watching this, so thank you. I will see you again soon. Cheers.